If you're planning on buying any cards from TCG Player, make sure you use our affiliate link right here in the description of our video to help support the channel. It's the best way to do it and it's free. Looking for PTGO codes? Poton Store has all the latest sets and promos, instantly delivered to your email. You can use Tablemon code when checking out for 5% off. Card Market is Europe's largest online marketplace for Pokemon cards. Whether you're looking for sealed product or singles, vintage or the latest sets, just follow the link in the description to find what you need. If you're looking for sealed product, Paladin Cards has some of the best deals and you can get 5% off any purchase with code TABLEMON5. This video is sponsored by the Pokemon TCG deck building website PokemonCard.io. Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video here. We're going to be taking a look at the Lost Origin tier list from Japan. Now they've had these cards such as Giratina, the Lost Zone Engine, Hisuian Arcanine, all of these good Pokemon. They've had them for quite a while, and so this is a tier list that was posted by Japan. I just ended up editing it into a more manageable and digested version, as you can see right here. Also trying to put my graphic design skills to good use for the channel. And yeah, it's really interesting to see some of these things in their different tiers. I am recording this video before the World Championships, so perhaps the World Championships will unveil a brand new deck, and there will be something that a lot of us were not considering, or something that surprised everyone and all of a sudden becomes a tier 1 or tier 2 deck, because we will be getting the Lost Origin set, of course, which brings Lost Zone cards and Giratina and other good stuff, but you never know, right? The format isn't changing that much with each set. I feel like it's just adding on top and on top and on top and building on the foundation rather than a complete shake up top to bottom. So they have listed 4 tier 1 decks: Palkia, Mew, and Giratina, which I think is hard to argue against. Mew over on this side of the world has been going down in playability as I am recording this. It is being played not in the biggest numbers anymore, and there is a lot of hate towards it with 4 Path to a Peak decks, 4 Path for Marnie, Roxanne plus Path to a Peak, especially Arc Inteleon seem to be dominating those decks, along with Palkia having a very decent matchup against Mew. But Mew is that deck that can bully any bad start or any slow start and just take over from there. So Mew, Palkia, and Giratina seem to be the top tier decks. Palkia we're very familiar, Mew the same, but Giratina is a brand new card for us at from the Lost Origin sets. I really look forward to trying that out, see how it ends up working out, and how the Lost Zone engine with the Comfey and all of that good stuff. Let's Giratina excel. I'm looking forward to playing with Giratina V-Star for sure. Now in tier 2 we have Arc Inteleon, which might be a surprise. It is currently the most popular deck, but I reckon, without having played any games myself with Lost Origin cards, I reckon the 1-hit KO potential from Giratina rendering the Arc Inteleon Sharon Scare loop basically useless. Obviously you can have access to Big Charm, but a choice belt that Giratina deals with a Big Charm that Arc is V-Star. So I feel like Giratina might finally put the nail in the coffin of Arceus V-Star as a tier 1 deck, and it will fall to tier 2. Still a very good deck, still very good against anything that's not Giratina. Just if you can't beat the tier 1 decks consistently enough, as it does sometimes struggle a bit with Palkia or Mew depending on your start, then especially going second, then that is something to worry about. So next up we have Duraludon VMAX, which remains a solid deck that keeps staying on top. Not tier 1, but it's a good pick that can steal wins from tier 1 decks and also can demolish and auto-win a lot of other decks, which is really cool. And it's just a really tanky Pokemon that's hard to take down. Next up we have Blissey, which I think is more popular over in Japan than on our side. Their lists are playing for Miltank, which is also very surprising. It's something that I want to personally try, see how that goes. But for Miltank, Blissey seems to be the norm over there, and it is doing quite well, as not a lot of decks are prepared for it. Now, after that, we have the Hisuian Zoroark V-Star, which I did feature a deck profile along with Giratina. If you want to see those versions, I do have them listed on my channel, and after I finish explaining, the rest of the video will contain all of these lists that I found from the Japanese website in 20-second intervals. You can easily take a picture of them for any of those that are of your interest. But Hisuian Zork, a really powerful threat, also has a 1-KO potential, so we're shifting towards those 1-KOs a bit now through Giratina and through Hisuian Zork, and really cool card that we're finally getting from Lost Origin. We all expected Zork to be playable at Worlds, but he ended up not having that. Then we have Regis, which did win Japan Nationals a few months back. It remains a good, powerful deck that, if not accounted for, can run you over, but if accounted for, it's easily countered, I guess, or easily tagged for with things like Dunsparce and Arceus decks, Havery counts, Temple of Sinnoh, things like that. And then they're playing with the Lost on engine that lets you power up Pokemon with Mirage Gate, allowing you to attach any energies from your deck. The Amazing Rare Reshiram all of a sudden becomes very viable and easy to power up, and the 270 damage that you deal raw with your attack or with a choice belt 300 with 600 pings and whatever upwards of that, then all of a sudden you're 1-KOing V-Stars and possibly V-Maxes with a single price Pokemon, which is really, really good. And the same deal with Charizard, Radiant Charizard. Radiant Charizard solo decks are also pretty popular, and with the Mirage Gate engine, powering it up is not difficult at all. We also have Kyurem VMAX, which I also featured, in case you want to take a look at that. It'll be linked in the playlist here for Lost Origin. Kyurem VMAX, a pretty powerful VMAX, which I'm not happy that they're releasing a new powerful VMAX, but at least it's not many powerful VMAXs, it's just one, and it helps maintain the balance of 3 prizers, 2 prizers, and single prizers. But the 1-KO potential for Kyurem is definitely right there. And then next up in tier 3, we have decks that I deem are fun. They have like a very core mechanic, very defined mechanic, and they're very predictable, which makes them easy to counter, easy to prepare for, and their damage output is not quite as high, or they require a lot of resources for it to be really high, as opposed to the rest of the decks. So we have the Hisuian Arcanine attacking for free with a 0 energy deck, which you can also find in the playlist or in my channel pretty much like a couple days back from this video. We also have Arceus V-Star combined with Tapu Koko VMAX in order to counter the Palkia deck, of course, and then have the consistency of Arceus, but also have the late game potential of Roxanne plus paralysis from Tapu Koko VMAX's attack. Then we have Turbo Darkrai decks, which on paper can do a lot of damage, all the damage, but they do require a ton of abilities. They leave themselves very susceptible with their benches, and also they rely on dark patches and a ton of item cards, and if they don't get like that one super explosive turn, then they can fall behind and it just becomes an underwhelming 2-hit KO deck. We also have Dialga V-Star. It seems like the slower version with Bronzong is more popular in Japan. I think I would personally rank the Turbo Dialga version of the deck one step higher, and I would put it as a tier 2 deck simply because it can steal games by doing its turbo thing, but they have it listed as a tier 3 deck. They also have a Chartus VMAX, which sees basically no play here, but the 1-KO potential is definitely there as a VMAX with Choice Belt and a full bench, and you get Crobat support and whatnot. It's just, it's very susceptible to Pass plus Marnie, Pass plus Roxanne especially, or even high Avery counts. So its damage output ends up being limited towards the end of the game. We also have Hisuian Gudra as a fun deck. I also featured a video in case you want to watch that. It's a super tanky Pokemon, but it does require a lot, and it basically takes almost the same effort as Giratina to power up, yet the damage output is only 200, and you do become tankier, but Boss's Orders is something that can be used to play around the tankiness, so that's the issue for Gudra. And then we have good old Lunaton Solrock, which is powerful, but not a very serious deck in my opinion. And then they listed all of these decks as tier 4 decks, which are probably fun to use, but just not that good. The number 1 tier 4 deck is Arceus Box, which has Zapdos, Moltres, Zacian, all of that good stuff to try and counter everything in the metagame. Then we have Calyrex with a Clefairy engine, like a Turbo Calyrex deck with Clefairy, which can self-power up a lot of Psychic energies Then we have Durant, which I guess can sneak away with some wins, can be pretty fun to use as well. And then we have Frostmoth, Frostmoth box with Radiant Greninja and that stuff, which seems like a pretty cool concept and idea. The issue is that it's a very balanced deck, and there's no like really completely unbalanced water type attacker, other than Palkia V-Star, of course, but you can't really, you don't really need Frostmoth to power up for 2 energies. If it costed more, then sure, maybe there's some unexplored potential between Frostmoth and Kyurem VMAX perhaps, but as of today, that wasn't listed. Then we have Magikarp, and I would probably mirror that for Mad Party, fun decks, cool concept decks, but just not good enough. And Malamar, Rapstrike Malamar, that's also one I don't agree with. I think I would personally place this in tier 3 myself, or even tier 2. I feel like Malamar is definitely underrated and can sneak away a lot of solid wins if it stabilizes against all the popular decks that we are seeing in tier 1 and tier 2. The biggest issue is, of course, Radiant Greninja in the Palkia decks, eliminating a lot of your board and your support. And then finally, we have Samurott V-Star, which suffers the same fate or worse as Darkrai V-Star. It can potentially do a lot of damage, but it does it once, and then it becomes an underwhelming V-Star that's it's just not better than Inteleon or Palkia. So why would you play this when you can play Arceus, Inteleon, or Palkia, right? So pretty cool list to see. And I don't know, it's interesting to see the differences. I do plan on making a tier list myself after we have some Lost Origin tournament results. Hopefully by the time you are seeing this, September is just around the corner, so we will know about league ups and league challenges, and then that's where we will be able to make a tier list that's more accurate to our side of the world, right? So yeah, thanks so much for watching this. I will be posting all of these lists in the remaining of the video. So any you're looking for, you can scroll or you can see them all. Yeah, take a look at them, analyze them, screen cap any that you want, and let me know. Yeah, let me know if there's any obvious decks that they're missing. I think for me, the one big obvious deck is Ice Calyrex VMAX, but perhaps Kyurem is simply outclassed. I mean, Kyurem simply outclasses Ice Rider Calyrex. I would definitely shift some of these in spaces, but once I have played with Lost Origin, I can give a more accurate opinion. Thank you so much, and enjoy the deck lists.